Welcome back to the 2020 Ohio Hardwood Furniture Market. I'm your host, Jordan Mullet, and I've had the privilege of hosting yesterday and today, and it's something I like to be able to do to give back to the community. My family is part of the community of builders, one of the sponsors of the show, and it's a way that I can give back. But I wanted to tell you a little bit more about what I do. So I'm one of the owners of Sandler Training at the Ruby Group, and that's what I do for my regular job when I'm not hosting. So Sandler Training is the world's largest trainer of salespeople and management in the world. And so for the past 6 years, I have been working directly with business owners, store owners, to be able to help them figure out how is the top line revenue coming into the company and how do we grow that? What does it take to get 20, 30, 50% growth, be able to help that sales team to be able to grow and excel? So I wanted to take a couple moments today and just share with you some of the tips that can really help a sales team to be able to grow. And a lot of that has to do with overcoming the stereotype of the salesperson. And I'm talking specifically about that stigma that comes with sales. And whether we like it or not, the truth is that sales is not the most respected profession. So a lot of what I do is to be able to help a salesperson to take dignity in their job, to be able to lay their head down on their pillow at night and be able to comfortably know, I'm a salesperson, I work with integrity, and I'm able to be there and help my customers. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that stigma that we're up against. So it's not how I, as a salesperson, handle customers that makes somebody uncomfortable. The truth is that the profession as a whole has grown into something that has made somebody uncomfortable. Every one of us has experienced that moment with a salesperson where they say something that's pushy, that has pressure, and the next thing you know, you just feel like you just want to get out of there. You know, recently, me and my family we were looking for a furniture set for my son. He's 13 years old. He had outgrown his previous furniture set, and we were just trying to brainstorm, find some different designs we were looking for. And for whatever reason, we wandered into a big box furniture store. As we walked in the door, and I don't think the furniture store meant to do it on purpose, but 4 or 5 of their salespeople were gathered right at the front of the store, and they were around a podium. And as soon as we walked in, we picked up on that really quickly. And I don't think they were doing this intentionally as well, but they were all wearing bright red shirts. I quickly shepherded my family over to the left-hand side, out of their way, and I pushed them ahead of me and I said, "Run, kids, don't make eye contact." And as I lagged behind, making sure I was the person in between them and the red-shirted people behind me, all I could think was, my goodness, I feel like the weak gazelle on the Serengeti, and there's a pride of lions behind me, and I better get out of here. Now, I don't think they intended to make me feel that pressure, but that's what's happening every time that somebody engages with a salesperson. There's pressure because they know that we as a salesperson are there to sell something, and they're aware of it. And that's where we get that, it's just that uncomfortable feeling in between a potential customer and the salesperson. For example, when you walk into a retail store, it doesn't have to be a furniture store, but you're in there specifically to be able to buy a shirt, or you need pants, or you're there for shoes, and the clerk looks up at you and says, "Can I help you?" And our first response every time is, "I'm just looking." It doesn't matter if you're there, you got 5 minutes, you know exactly what you want. It's just uncomfortable. I don't know you, and therefore I don't trust you. I'm very uncomfortable with that. So one of the things that we have to be able to do is be able to relieve that pressure. Sandler Training has a rule. This is a Sandler rule that we share, and the rule is people buy in spite of the pressure, not because of it. And so sometimes we just don't even realize that because of the stigma of that salesperson, we apply pressure when we don't even mean to. So I just want to give you a quick couple tips that you can share with your salespeople, or you can use yourself, of how do you overcome that stigma. Number one is you have to build trust first. And this is so difficult. People don't know how much I care until they know, they don't care how much I know until they know how much I care. So here's what's difficult. You see those commercials where the gentleman is walking, and he's kind of walking on a city street, and he's got a number above his head. You know, maybe it's a cholesterol commercial and it's showing that he looks really healthy and normal, but his cholesterol is really high. Well, the truth is that every time that you meet somebody new, there's a trust number above their head. And you're trying to gauge, can I trust this person? Is this somebody that's going to be working in my best interest, or is this somebody that's going to be working against my best interest? So I like to think about it like this, on a scale of 0 to 10, when you meet somebody that there's a 10 above their head, more than likely that's somebody that you've met before. Maybe it's easy to get to know them. Maybe a friend told you that you need to go talk to them. That's a 10. Everything that they say to you is trustworthy. You really get what they're saying. And you don't filter. When somebody's talking to you and there's a trust level of 10, I'm taking everything that they say and I'm reading it, I'm analyzing it. Then you got kind of in the middle, right? A 5. They're kind of cautious. They want to trust you. They're just not quite sure how much they can trust you. So they begin to filter a little bit. You say one thing and there's just a little bit of doubt or caution whether or not that's trustworthy. But the truth is many of us as salespeople, not because of us, but because of all those other salespeople out there that have applied pressure for so many years, when we first meet somebody, the truth is a lot of times that number at the top is a 0. And so everything that comes out of our mouth in the beginning, we're thinking, boy, we're being honest and we're trying to help and we're there to help. And all they can think is, liar, liar. They don't believe a word we say. So we have to recognize that there's that stigma there. So here's a couple things that you can do to be able to help avoid that. So build trust. You need to be able to be completely different. So you can't look like, act like, sound like a salesperson. So you have to think about all the different things that you've heard salespeople say over the years. I bought a car recently over the winter, and one of the things that the sales manager said when he came out to me is, what do I need to do today to get you into this vehicle? That's a great line. But the truth is that's a pressure line. And we don't realize how many times we put somebody in an awkward position, because what we're really saying there is, I will do or say anything to get you into this sale today. It does not build trust. So one of a good rule of thumb is that anytime that you are talking to a prospect, a potential customer, it's important that, if you're not going to say this to your mom, or you're not going to say it to your grandma, it might not be the best thing to say to somebody that you don't have great trust in. Be careful with your words. Be careful when you put on pressure. And this is a great thing to listen to, because we have an incredible privilege when we're in a store. We get to listen to the other salespeople. You can help each other. You can help say, I don't know if you realize it, but when you said this, their entire body language changed and they started backing off. That made them uncomfortable. Another thing that we can do to build trust is no buzzwords. And this is probably one of the most things that it's very difficult not to use buzzwords. But in a retail store, there are so many buzzwords that you can use. And when I say buzzwords, catalyzed conversion varnish, roughs on, inset, table leaves, storage. I mean, there's just things that maybe they don't realize what it is. To us, it's just common knowledge. But we have to be careful when we share it, because if somebody doesn't know what we're talking about and we start using a word that's uncomfortable, it just makes them uncomfortable really quickly. So I've got another rule for you. This is a Sandler rule. And the Sandler rule is, always let the prospect preserve their dignity. We're always going to give them the benefit of the doubt. We're going to speak to them with respect. So in other words, when we're talking about rough sawn lumber, we need to help them understand what is rough sawn lumber, not just assume that they know what it is. When we're talking about different finishes, even the word species, right? Not everybody knows what species is. What does that mean? Well, it's different types of trees. So we have to be careful when we use things like that. And then lastly, an easy thing that we can do is we can start with hello. When somebody walks into the store, the last thing that we want to hear is, are you here to buy today? Now, we don't say that, right? We say, can I help you? When several years ago, my wife and I built a home, and we had been very careful with the budget of the home, and we had talked about, if we maintain our budget, we think we could add a hot tub at the end. So we were so excited. We were out to breakfast that morning, and we had made the decision that morning, you know what, I think we've made enough room in the budget. We can go get a hot tub. It's a reward for all the hard work we've done so far. We went down to the street to the local hot tub store. We walk in the door. Now, granted, we knew we wanted a hot tub, but we didn't know anything about it. We walked in the door planning on spending $4,000 to $5,000. As we walked in the door, we were probably 2 to 3 steps in, a guy behind the counter looks up at us and goes, "Can I help you?" My guard went up so fast. I was so uncomfortable because all I could think is, I'm not ready to spend $4,000. I got a lot of questions first. We went over there and I could feel his eyes on there, and all I could think is, man, he's hoping to get a sale. It just made me uncomfortable. So here's a tip. Start with something different. Build a relationship. You know, you would never treat somebody that way if they came into your home. You just wouldn't say, "Can I help you?" So what's something different you can say? "Hello," right? That's an easy one right there. Or you could say something like, "What brings you in today? Have you been here before?" Right? "What a lovely day." All you have to remember is there is a stigma, right? There's a stereotype that we're overcoming. We can't treat people like a normal salesperson would. The second thing we can do overall is make it about them. We've got an opportunity to be able to put the focus on them. Here's the truth. We work really hard for our product knowledge. We work really hard to be able to learn our product, to understand all the different aspects of what we do. And my goodness, doesn't it feel good when a customer walks in and asks us a question? Because I know the answer to it. You know, we've been trained from little on up that when somebody asks us a question, we raise our hand, right? We know the answer. And my goodness, I don't like the way it feels when I don't know the answer, but I'm going to answer every question. So here's the problem. And this is another Sandler rule. Product knowledge used at the wrong time can be intimidating. I'm going to say that again. Product knowledge used at the wrong time can be intimidating. So too many times somebody walks in and they start asking us a question about the table, and we know so much about the table, and we tend to overwhelm them. We tend to, well, we call it show up and throw up, right? We show up, throw up, and we just give them everything that we got. It's like we just unload all barrels of our gun, just telling them everything that we know. Here's a tip. Start asking more questions. Start being curious about what's going on in the world. Why are they walking in today? Why buy a furniture set today? You know, is this dining room table something they've been dreaming about for Thanksgiving? They want to have their family over. Did they just get a raise or a promotion? They've been saving for this. What's going on in their world? So here's something I would suggest. In any interaction with a client, with a customer, you should be doing about 30% of the talking. That's right, I said that. 30% of the talking. That means if you have a 10 to 15 minute interaction with a customer, they should be doing the majority of the talking. That means you're asking good questions. That means you're a good listener. You're trying to determine what's going on in their world. Because we get paid as salespeople, not on the information we give, but on the information we receive. And you need to be gauging which way is the flow of information coming. Is it coming from you to them, or is it coming from them to you? Because if you learn what's going on in their world, you're going to be able to help guide them and direct them to really good choices. You can help them determine a lot faster what sofa they need, what table they need, what types of chairs. And you're going to be able to help them. Those types of salespeople you'll always are going to remember, because it's about you, the customer, and not about them, the salesperson. So that leads us to our last Sandler rule, and the last Sandler rule is no mind reading. Right? If we don't know why they're asking, or we don't know what's going on, that's a good opportunity to ask a question. That's a good reason to find out more about them. Well, I really appreciate you allowing me to share this with you. I think sales is an incredible profession. I think it's an incredible honor to be able to go out and serve our customers, to be able to help them get great bedroom sets, dining sets, redo their office, to be able to bring great product into their home. You do an incredible thing. To be able to help you further, I've got a great book that one of my partners in New York wrote. His name's Rob Fishman, incredible trainer. He's been with the network for a long time. He wrote this book based on a lot of his experiences and what we've gained in the industry over the years. It's called Retail Success in an Online World. And it's really dealing with the fact that, guess what? We're in an Amazon era. People have a lot of knowledge before they even come to us. How do we compete in that world? This book is there to be able to help you to be able to understand, how do I really help my customer? How do I stop making it about myself and make it about them? In order to help you, I'm going to give away one of these books. And here's something we can do. If you will post on your social media the hashtag OHFM, Ohio Hardwood Furniture Market, OHFM 2020. That's hashtag OHFM 2020. and you post it on your Instagram or your Facebook, and here's what I'd encourage you to do. Post a picture of your retail store. That's a way that will invite people into your store and be able to show them something that you're proud of, and then tag us with that, and we will choose a winner from one of those. We will choose a winner from one of those posts. So again, you can also find this book on Amazon. And then I wanted to offer you one last thing before you go. On my website, and here's the website, we're going to post it online. It's therubygroup.sandler.com/sell. We're giving away up to 1 full year of access to a lot of our podcasts, our videos, our training, lots of great content to be able to take back to your world and be able to start moving towards overcoming the stigma. Right? So everybody can go on there. You can sign up on the website. It's real easy. Put your name and email address in there and access to lots of great content. Well, I'm going to put my host hat back on, and we're going to go around the show today, and we've got a lot of great furniture coming up. So we'll be right back.